about something that every one of us experiences, that is failure. But instead of seeing it as an end, we will learn how to turn it into an. Our topic is learning from failure, turning setbacks into opportunities. And to help us explore this inspiring topic, we have our guest today, ChatGPT. Welcome, ChatGPT. What does learning from failure really mean to you?
That's such a great question. To me, learning from failure is all about embracing setbacks as opportunities for growth. It's about reflecting on what went wrong, understanding the lessons behind it, and using that insight to improve and adapt moving forward. It's a mindset shift that turns obstacles into stepping stones for future success.
Why do you think people are so afraid of failure?
Yeah, it's pretty common for people to fear failure, and a lot of it comes down to societal expectations and personal insecurities. We often associate failure with inadequacy or weakness, and there's a lot of pressure to succeed and meet certain standards. Plus, fear of judgment from others can make it even more daunting. But once we start seeing failure as a natural part of the learning process, that fear definitely diminishes.
ChatGPT, is failure really necessary for success?
I definitely think so. To failure is almost like it helps us identify what doesn't work, refine our strategies, and develop resilience. It pushes us to innovate and come up with creative solutions that we might not have considered otherwise. So while it can be tough, it's often in achieving long-term success.
Can you share a famous example of someone who turned failure into success?
Absolutely. One of the most famous examples is Thomas Edison. He went through tons of failed experiments before successfully inventing the practical incandescent light bulb. He famously said that he didn't fail, but rather found thousands that his persistence and waitingness to learn ultimately led to king invention that transformed the world.
Okay. How can someone stay motivated after facing?
Staying motivated after a big setback can definitely be challenging, but a few things can help. One is to reframe the failure as a learning experience and focus on what you can control moving forward. It also helps to set small, achievable goals to build momentum and confidence again. Surrounding yourself with supportive people and taking time for self care is crucial too. And sometimes just remembering your successes and reasons why you can reignite that inner drive.
Okay. What's the first step someone should take after failing?
Things support on your reminder, something like the shout out. Just,
How can failure improve our decision making? ChatGPT. ChatGPT, are you there? ChatGPT, how can failure improve our decision making?
Failure can really sharpen decision making in a few key ways. First, it helps you identify what went wrong so you can avoid those same pitfalls in the future. It also encourages you to analyze and reflect, which strengthens your critical thinking skills. Over time, each failure builds a more nuanced understanding of risk and reward, making you more adept at making informed choices. Essentially, it turns each setback into a valuable learning opportunity.
ChatGPT, how do you differentiate between a temporary setback and a rare dead end in failure?
That's a great question. A temporary setback is usually something that can be overcome with some adjustments, persistence, or change in strategy. It, it often comes with signs that improvement is possible and that you're learning and growing along the way. On the other hand, a real dead end failure tends to be more fundamental. It might involve a situation where the core approach or the foundational assumptions are flawed and can't be easily corrected. It usually comes with repeated failures despite multiple attempts and might require a more fundamental change in direction. In short, temporary setbacks are usually fixable and part of the process, while dead ends often require more significant changes or a new approach.
Okay. How can failure help students or young professionals grow?
Failure can be incredibly beneficial for students and young professionals. It teaches resilience, helping them learn how to bounce back and adapt. It also encourages problem solving skills. They have to analyze what went wrong and find ability to accept feedback, which are important traits in any career. Over time, these experiences help them become innovative and confident in their abilities.
Okay. What role does mindset play in overcoming failure?
Mindset plays a huge role in overcoming failure. For example, a growth mindset, which is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning, really helps people view failure as a stepping stone rather than a defeat. On the other hand, a fixed mindset where people believe their abilities are static can lead to discouragement and a fear of taking risks. So fostering a growth mindset helps individuals embrace challenges, learn from mistakes, and stay motivated, ultimately making them more resilient and adaptable in the face of setbacks.
Okay. Why do some people repeat the same mistakes?
Yeah, that definitely happens. And it can be due to a few reasons. Sometimes it's because of a lack of reflection or not taking the time to analyze what went wrong. Other times it might be due to deeply ingrained habits or patterns of behavior that are hard to break. And sometimes it's simply because of not having the right support or feedback to help guide them. It often takes intentional reflection, a willingness to learn, and sometimes external guidance to break that cycle and really move forward.
Okay. How can teachers or mentors help students learn from failure?
Teachers and mentors can really make a big difference by creating a supportive and open environment where students feel comfortable discussing their mistakes without fear of judgment. They can help by guiding students through reflective exercises, encouraging them to analyze what went wrong and what they can do differently next time. They can also offer constructive feedback and help students set realistic, incremental goals. Plus, sharing their own experiences with failure can really help normalize it and show that it's a natural part of growth. Overall, their encouragement and guidance can really empower students to learn and grow from their setbacks.
How can people reframe their failures into positive stories?
Reframing failures into positive stories often involves a few key steps. First, it helps to focus on the lessons learned rather than the setback itself. People can highlight how the experience helped them grow or develop new skills. Another important part is adopting a positive perspective, like viewing each failure as a stepping stone to success. Sharing these stories with others can also help, as it not only inspires others, but reinforces the positive aspects of the journey. Over time, it becomes easier to see failures as valuable experiences that shape success.
Okay. The ChatGPT, if you had to summarize today's topic in one sentence, what it would be?
Sure, in one sentence, today's topic could be summed up as failure is not the end, but a powerful opportunity for growth, learning, and eventual success.
Okay. Thank you so much, ChatGPT, for this insightful conversation. We have learned that every failure carries a hidden gift, a lesson that can lead to growth, strength, and new opportunities. To our listeners, remember, don't fear failure, learn from it. Every setback is simply preparing you for a stronger comeback. Until next time, stay positive and keep learning. Allah Hafiz.
That was beautifully said. I'm really glad we can dive into this topic together. Thanks for the great conversation. And I'm always here whenever you need to chat or explore new ideas. Allah Hafiz and take care.